Sometimes the things that we think we most hate are actually good for us. You don't always see it though when you're experiencing that situation of dread, but sometimes you notice it later. It's like being pushed to your limits and beyond. We all like our comfort zone where we can just do things at ease, be in this kind of predictable momentum, this predictable zone. But sometimes somebody comes into your life where they decide, I'm going to see what I can get away with this person. I'm going to try to yank this person around a bit. Narcissists push you to your limits. Narcissists read you well. They know what your comfort zone is. They know what would create discomfort in you. And that's the juice that keeps the narcissist going, is creating discomfort in other people's lives. So they find ways of pushing you to your limits, absolutely stretching you. They want to see what your breaking point is, and they want to see you snap. It makes them feel good. Like, if you ever had, maybe when you were younger, chicken, maybe, or maybe turkey, like a Thanksgiving turkey, or just having chicken, and you get that wishbone, it's kind of like a collarbone, but you break the wishbone with somebody, and you see who's going to keep the bigger half, and whoever has the bigger half of the wishbone basically gets to make a wish, and it comes true, or so they say. But it's that satisfying feeling just watching that bone snap, just snapping it. You pulling it one way, somebody pulling it the other way, and then you hope that you end up with the bigger end. Narcissists, they like to see people snap. It really empowers them. And if you're dealing with a narcissist while they're having fun, you're being tested. You don't really know your limits until you've dealt with one of these people. You think you have. I mean, if it doesn't matter, you could be somebody who's into sports. You could be doing these like Ironman triathlons, running 30 kilometers or miles a day. You might think you know what stretching yourself is like. Maybe you spent a few years in the army, worked in investment banking, working 20 hours a day. Doesn't matter. None of that really compares to the type of tipping point that the narcissist puts you against. It's really this emotion, this combination of like exhaustion and an emotional tipping point where they force you into this place where you notice certain things about yourself that you never knew existed. At first you feel like you don't have the resources to cope. At first you feel like you don't have the resources to deal with what they're putting you through and where you find yourself. But then in time you somehow summon the resources to help you through that situation. Resources that you never knew you had access to. It's a funny thing, this willpower. If you don't cave completely, you do find access to these new resources to help you through whatever they're putting you through. When the narcissist, when they push you to your limits and they really put you down, and then they'll usually pounce. They'll leave the picture because they've done their job. They've seen you snap, or so they think. They've been empowered by putting you through that situation. And then they're off to someone new to see what they can get away with that other person. In time, you do become stronger. Where maybe they would have stretched you and maybe certain parts you would have ripped, metaphorically speaking, those gaps have now been filled and you've been, in a way, created scar tissue or just new tissue where you were previously broken. And now the narcissist sees this new, stronger version of you. They're like, okay, what's this about? They get very curious when they see you turning into a new person, a better person, a stronger person. Perhaps a person who's less tolerant to toxicity. But the fact that you're less tolerant to toxicity and you somehow are stronger, that's like an aphrodisiac to the narcissist. They want to see what you're about now. They want to see what this new you is all about. So they come back. They come back as if nothing's happened. Narcissists are so good at breaking people down, abandoning people because that person has nothing left to offer. And from a distance, they're just hoping you crumble. But when you don't, and you've summoned this new life force to just carry you, and that becomes visible to them, they just reappear as if nothing's happened. Well, they'll do that if they can get away with it anyway, because then it confuses you. Because you feel like they were responsible for putting you through whatever you went through, and that they should realize that and own up to it. But then in a way, they're gaslighting you because they're not taking ownership for anything which they've done to you. But of course, if it's absolutely clear that you're holding them responsible in some way, then they might, they sometimes apologize and pretend they've changed. That's their other approach. But they have this uncanny ability just to play dumb, like, they can set off a nuclear explosion somewhere and then they'll pretend they had nothing to do with it. And it's just like, I saw you launch that weapon, You were filmed, your fingerprints are all over the device. I mean, you name it, and they still play dumb. It's just like, what's really happening is they're gaslighting themselves. Those little fuckers. But, yeah, their definition of a good time just really isn't a good time. Anyway, just realize they like to come back as if they hadn't done anything wrong. And because they play the role so well, sometimes you even believe it. Don't be surprised if you find that you've actually fallen for that nonsense. It's just, they're so full of shit. But, yeah. Anyway, if I'm not careful, I'm just going to ramble on in this video. So I'm just going to leave it to that. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you do watch these videos regularly, I do appreciate that. It's always good to know that people enjoy the message. Oh yeah, just one other thing. I'm starting to post more regularly under my other channel. It's called Chillin' with Joe. So if you find these videos interesting, you'll probably find some of those videos interesting as well. So I'll make sure to put a link to it at the bottom of the description of this video, so you can check that out if you haven't already. Bye-bye.